What is up, my good people? We are back with another episode of the Connected Podcast where we talk to the best entrepreneurs that I happen to know. That's why they are considered the best in their respective industries to discuss the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows of entrepreneurship. I'm super excited, and I know I say this every episode, but I am super excited to have my guest here today, Queenella Gibson. Queen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If I run through her accolades, we'll be here all day. She's a serial entrepreneur, author, singer, real estate agent, event planner, mom. What else we got? We missing anything?
Founder of a nonprofit organization dedicated to women empowerment. What else could we say? Yeah, the idea is just to build stages and build people. I keep saying that. I have been blessed to have that vision and the gift that God put in me to just be passionate about those that are around me, that I'm surrounded by. I feel responsible for anyone that I come in contact with, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So,
It's crazy you say that because, and I tell you this all the time, like, I know God always, that's the reason why I started this podcast, is that God literally has connected me with every single person that I've needed, every resource, everything. He's like, here, you're going to meet this person over here in the most unexplained, like non-predictable situations. God has placed me in the right place with the right people. And I told you this, that the day that I met you at the event that we both spoke at on a panel, I had heard of you.
Oh, really?
I had heard of you. Yeah. Your name had got around. I had heard of you. Not in a bad
Hopefully
way.
it was good thing.
Not in a bad way, in a good way. First of all, they had you sing the national anthem, I think it was, and I was like, "Well, goddamn, like that's a showstopper."
Right.
And then on top of that, they had me speak after you, which made it even worse. But when I got to finally meet you and read more about, I started going on your Instagram and seeing what you was doing. It was inspiring. It was motivating, and I was happy to see that you were doing so many things, because I hate these gurus and so-called or self-proclaimed gurus that are like, focus on one thing, only do one thing, and that's it. Right. And I saw you doing, I couldn't even keep up with how much you was doing. It was making me tired.
I'll be honest, for the most part, I deal with systems all day, every day. So I think my brain kind of just works like that, right? I know where everything is. I know, to be honest, whatever formula I use for real estate, I use the same formula for public speaking, the same formula for the nonprofit organization, the same formula for everything, right? And it just works. Like the same systems, they work. So I don't believe in, yes, we do hear it all the time. Just focus on one thing. If you're doing too many things, you're going to be all over the place. Yes and no. If you take the time out to perfect your craft, right? You work on your craft on one particular area. Once you've mastered that, it is okay to move on to the next project, right? Mm-hmm. And life is all about living and experiencing things. So for me, it's never about staying in a box. You can't put me in a box.
Yeah.
Wherever there's a need, I try to meet that need. I try to address whatever those issues that we as people face. And no, I don't have all the tools and resources, but I am connected to a lot of people, and I try to expand my network so that way when I do tap into certain industries or I meet different people with different needs that I can't provide, a solution for, I know someone that can. And I believe that also, if you are the resource, if you are the source of knowledge, you're the one that has, if not the information, you know people that have the information. That's really what networking is about. I say networking isn't about just meeting people. It's connecting people with people. Opportunities. If I have an opportunity over here, hey, look, I know someone that has another opportunity similar. How can we collaborate, right? And we make something even bigger than what it is that we've been presented. So
for sure. Well,
don't put yourself in a box.
For sure. Well, you're getting ahead of yourself, because I got some questions around your networking tactics, because I seen it in action. I said shit. she's up to something.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit more about like your background. I know you're Haitian, and that was evident from the last event that you had. I had never seen so many Haitians in one place. And I know that's a prideful moment for y'all because there was so many Haitians on your platform, on stage, huge success stories. So tell me a little bit more about your background. You from Jersey? Like where you from? What was that like?
So yes, the panel consisted of 75%. I like numbers, right? So 75% were Haitian, and it was intentional in having that message for me. Like I needed to see that because I'm half Haitian, and coming up, what I was taught about the culture, I wasn't really interested in learning about it. I didn't.
What was that? I'm sorry.
So for the most part, no one wanted to be Haitian, right? I was trying to think what year it might have been. It was definitely like in the 90s. Okay. So when you think about it, no one really, you didn't claim you were Haitian. It wasn't something to have pride in, right? You didn't show much pride for that. My dad would come to pick me up from school, and I would like, turn the music down, roll the window up, you know. My dad would pick me up in like gladiator sandals, you know. So I'm like, Daddy, go put some regular shoes on, you know. But it was certain things that I think I was brainwashed to believe that, you know, you should be ashamed of, that, you know, your dad is Haitian. And I'm too young, but I was being conditioned that way. Like what was wrong with Haiti? I didn't get it. And then my dad and I didn't have the best relationship either. So it wasn't something that I can say, you know, well, I'm so crazy about my father. I love my father. Don't talk about my dad. I wasn't defending him. I was just like, oh, if y'all say they are bad people, I think they're bad people too, you know? I just went along with it. However, I did have a great relationship with a few of my siblings that were Haitian. So the love was there. As I got older, there was a void because I didn't know the language. I didn't really understand the culture, the history. So to be around Haitians, when they know you're Haitian, it's like, hey, and they get excited and they start speaking Creole. And I'm like, I don't connect. And not being able to connect, you kind of feel like, how can I be in love with myself and get to know myself better and have that self-love, that self-care, if there's a part of me I don't even know? There's a part of me that I don't understand. There's a part of me that when I'm around those that are like me, I don't even connect with them. So I felt like an outcast, like an imposter, you know, like that imposter syndrome. Like I don't even want to claim I'm Haitian because people might call me out on it. Having that lineup of Haitian men that were successful, and they were good men, great fathers, they're great fathers, just gave it a whole new meaning for me. It was like, if just in case someone else has the same perspective, or someone created a narrative as though like Haitians are bad people, they're wild, they don't know how to come together, there's no peace when they're together, whatever it is, whatever the narrative is, I wanted to change that. So you see them all suited up, you know, on stage, even the host, oh my God, Lindor, Jeff Linder. And he's with the Gentleman's Factory in New York. Yes. So it was just nice to see them all come together and give, you know, Haiti a new meaning. Because also at the time, and I don't know, they probably still are dealing with it, the DR and Haiti. It was just a lot of, you know, misinformation in the media. And I just was like, you know, let's, instead of, you know, exposing all of the negative that's happening, let's do something positive. And we put an event together and call 5 people to come together and celebrate, you know, who we are as individuals. And at the same time, in exchange for information.
I mean, that was a dope event, and we're gonna get to that too. But so hometown Jersey, is that where you've always been?
Always born. I was born and raised in Newark. UMD&J Hospital was the hospital my mama gave birth to me in. We used to. I lived on Munn Avenue in Newark. They call it Hooterville. Hooterville section. I was over there. Grew up most of my life there. But Jersey has been in my home. I've never moved outside of Jersey. My mom and all of my siblings left and went upstate New York, so we rarely see each other.
They're on our side of the bridge.
But they up. They 6 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours away. So like the snow, they get hit before us because they're right by Canada. So, around this time, it's always sad for me because
Yeah.
there's no way I'm going to connect. I'm not going up there. We
Yeah.
get stuck in snow up
For
there.
sure. For
But
sure.
yeah, so I'm here alone in Jersey. That's how, like, I can't leave my state.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm too attached, too connected.
It's funny you say that because that's how I feel about New York. I lived in a few different places, but I lived in North Carolina for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a whole nother story, a whole nother podcast. But but even there, like you see those memes where it's like, I wish I could take New York with me to another state. Like that's how I felt. Like it was always like, and because it was so close to home, like I would be like, I don't know, at least once or twice a month coming back up here. So
Yeah,
I
North
feel,
Carolina is a different world.
Yeah.
Like this is Earth, and then it's North Carolina.
For
North
sure.
Carolina is totally different. And to leave New York, usually people that leave New York or New Jersey to go to the Carolinas, it's usually when they're retiring.
Yeah, so it's funny because that's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is dope for when I retire.
Yeah.
Like, so when I came back home, I was like, eventually I'll live here.
Yeah.
But this
Not
this
now.
ain't gonna work right now.
Right.
Like it was a culture shock. Like
Yeah, totally different.
like I'm going out, and this was when I was in my like early 20s. So I was
What?
partying heavy, and then I come to North Carolina, and they like, yo, what time you planning to go out? Cause the club closed at 12. I'm like, what you mean 12? That's when we starting to get ready to go out.
It's different down there.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your singing, because you have the voice of an angel. I've heard you
Oh, I
sing.
appreciate it.
And I've heard you sing. I'm not gonna make you sing like I've seen you do on other podcasts. I've seen it. But tell me about the singing. Where did that start? How did you get into that?
So my first time singing was at a church. I was about 5, maybe. I know I was the youngest. Nope, I'm lying. I wasn't even 5. I was 8, and I was the youngest choir member. Remember my pastor at the time. He was just like, the age limit is 13, but I'll make an exception for you.
Mm,
So singing started at 8, and I sang with my eyes closed for years.
mm.
I was 21, 22.
Okay.
Went on stage for the first time in public and had my eyes closed. And when I got off, everybody was like, girl, you better get your eyes together. Keep your eyes open when you sing. And I was like, okay. But I was trying to be an artist. So I was a at-home mom for 9 years, and that was just something that I did on the side. I would write songs and try to get them placed.
Mm-hmm.
I had to connect with Sony.
Okay.
So I kept trying to get placement there. But of course, I have the voice, so I'm singing my own records. I used to perform, and that's kind of how I made a buzz for myself.
Mm.
Queenella, so transitioning to real estate was super easy because it was
Yeah.
like, hey, I already have the audience, right? I already have the following. But yeah, singing was a career for me. It was I was a professional singer.
So let me ask you this, because I saw that y'all follow each other.
Oh, I already know who you're talking about.
So
That's my guy.
Is it?
Yeah, you talking about heat makers, arsonists.
Arsonist.
Yo, that's the
shout out.
homie.
This is probably the third pod. Yo, R. That's my brother.
Really?
This is probably the third pod that he comes up, because I know that he's been connected in a circle with somebody else. And
You make me want to pull out the phone like they doing what Wallow and Gilly do. Just pick up the phone like, hey, all right, where you at? Come through.
Nah, so you know what's the running joke with me and him?
Uh-huh.
Is that I've met so many people that tell me they know him, and they be like, that's my boy. And I'll be like, while they not looking, I'll take a picture and I'll text
send
them.
it over.
I'll text them. I'll be like, bro, you know this dude? He talking about, he say he's your man. And a couple of times he's like, I don't know. But nah, R is my son is a music producer.
Okay.
And Arsonist is one of the dopest human beings that I've ever met, because when my son said he wanted to do music production, he was playing baseball his whole life. When he wanted to do music production, I was like, all right, well, because I supported anything he wanted. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna build you a studio. And I'm like, well, how the fuck do I build a studio?
Right.
So I start hitting people up. I didn't know. I'm DMing everybody. I'm like, yo, can you help me? And no lie, I probably sent like 100 DMs to people saying, hey, I'm trying to build my son a studio. Can you help me? What do I get? Blah, blah, blah. Arson was the first person to answer.
Oh, wow.
The only person. And I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. And he was like,
how long ago was this?
This was
while Dipset, when Dipset was?
No, this was like probably like 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
And
this is before COVID.
Yeah. And he had hit me back and he was like, yo, this is dope. Get him X, Y, and Z. And I was like, yo, thank you so much. So he was like, yeah, no problem. So then I built my son the studio. I sent him a picture. I was like, yo, look at my setup, like I was hyped. And he was like, that's fire. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like, yo, I'm doing
the class
a
that
workshop.
He was doing, workshop,
Tools of a Pro. And he was like, bring your son through. So I brought my son through. They connected. He was like, yo, he's dope. My son still works out of his studio to this day.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah. And
look at R.
R is literally like such a dope soul. So
he is. He's out of all the producers that I work with, he's the only producer that and before I say it, let me think. Nope.
Yeah,
yep, he is. He's the only producer that I still, I'll reach out to and say, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Whatever. Like I interviewed him last year just to talk about royalties, right? And how music producers or just, artists, period. We have intellectual property. That's my intellectual property. Intellectual property, just even having ideas as intellectual property, we have to protect it. We have to figure out a way that we can make money off of,
For sure.
The things that we give birth to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be real estate property, like something physically that you can touch. It can just be an idea.
Yeah.
It can be a song that I've written, like understanding how to copyright your lyrics or your poems or if you have a recipe, like whatever that may be, people don't take it that seriously until they realize someone's capitalizing off of it. And they like, wait, hold up. How they making money? That's my idea. You want to sue them. And I'm like, well, if you look at the paperwork, it belongs to them. They own it.
Yeah.
So, but Arsonist, he's very knowledgeable and he's so transparent. He's not trying to make it seem like he's bigger than he is, even though he's a big deal. He's just super humble.
And he'll let
super humble.
He'll let you minimize it. Like, I've done a couple things, but
he'd be like, yeah, you see all the plaques behind me, but that ain't nothing.
Yeah. But he's a very dope individual. I feel like anybody that you do something for me, I owe you forever.
Right.
You do something for my son, I owe you for the next lifetime. You know what I mean? And,
right.
And he took my son in like he was his own. So that was huge for me.
Love it.
So we're singing a little bit. We're a stay-at-home mom, but we're working in the music industry.
Right.
At what point do we transition? So let me rewind. Was it always the dream of being an entrepreneur, or was it I got a corporate job and I'm going to eventually get into being an entrepreneur?
So the job opportunities I had, when I was of age, where I could work, I worked for my mom, right? So, and not so much for her, but under her leadership, under her management. So she was store manager at McDonald's. And she brought me on, right? I think that was everybody's first job too, probably McDonald's. But she took me, under her wing. And when I left that, I went to a school where my aunt was in leadership roles. So I was under my aunt. And there, then after I went to the banking industry, and I was there for like a year, maybe two. And then that's when I became at-home mom. But since a young age, when I knew I had a voice, I would wear headphones. I would wrap it with a headscarf.
Okay.
So it's really tight. And I would just lay in the bed. My mom would catch me in bed, and I'm not sleeping, but I would just close my eyes and visualize myself, like imagine myself on stage being like this big star and dating like a guy, like a powerful man, right? So I was, that was always my dream since I was a kid, is to pretty much be able to reach people. Like I always wanted to reach people and connect with people. At that time, it was music. As I got older, it was like, and I was in church, it was ministry. How can I tell as many people I can about God, right? And then when I fell out of that and I wasn't as connected to God and started doing real estate, it was like, oh my God, I went through this bad experience with my realtor and I had to represent myself. I know there's probably more people out there like me. How can I help the people? And at the same time, the rewards are nice, right?
Yeah.
In real estate. And now doing real estate is just like selling houses is just not enough, because as I were, selling homes, being a realtor, you're not just a realtor. You're like a counselor. You're you're a therapist. You're a
Yeah.
shrink. You're all the above. So
Talk about it.
right. So that so when I started to see, when I got an understanding of what our conversations would be like, and it wasn't just one client, it was every client. You have to talk them down. Like you have to make sure that the process is enjoyable. Like you want it to be an enjoyable experience. Part of doing that, you have to, encourage them. You have to motivate them, keep them excited about what it is that they're doing, giving them the education they need to feel confident in making intelligent decisions because they are knowledgeable about whatever the process is. And that's when the events came about. It was like, you know what? How about there's probably more people that just don't have an understanding. And I realized that it's not so much that they're not willing to make the decision of like becoming a homeowner. They just don't have the know-how.
Okay.
And like myself, the reason why I was hesitant of moving forward with the transaction was because I didn't know what we were getting into, right? And to that point, so much noise on social media is annoying. Everyone is like, because we're gonna talk about real estate since I brought it up, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
Listen, when the rates were 2%. Everyone was ranting and raving. Every guru, every leader, influencer, they were all saying the banks are pretty much giving away money. You need to jump on this right away, right? Now the rates are high. Everyone is clowning those that took on the 2%. And they're like, now you're stuck in your house. You went and purchased that home, 2%, and it's just like, bruh, you all were saying that the people should buy. At 8%, it's not scary to many people. 10% isn't scary to many people. And I'm not talking about investors. I'm talking about women, all right? Women that I've met, and that has a lot to do with the nonprofit organization that, we've started. There are a lot of women that I've met that came to me and said, Queen, I can afford the monthly payments. I sat down with the lender. He told me that, based on my DTI, my debt and my income, based on the looking at the assets and my credit history, that I could purchase a home. The only issue is the monthly payments I can handle. The only problem is I'm a single mother. I have 3 children that I'm caring for. 100%. Where am I getting $50,000 to just dump into a house? My down payment and closing costs. There's no way.
Yeah. And
if I do raise that $50,000, I do manage to save that money. My son is going off to college next year. He needs my support. So I'm fearful of, even if I do save that amount of money, to put it into a home when really I have needs. I have children I have to take care of. So I just feel safe in my apartment. But because you're on social media and you hear all this noise, you feel guilty. You feel like, well, dog, I do want generational wealth for my children, but I'm alone. I don't have any support. I feel like the narrative needs to change. I feel like any guru that's listening, when you're giving people guidance and you're telling them what it is that they need to do, it should not be a blanket statement.
For sure.
It should be focused on if you're having a one-on-one conversation, that's fine. If you're just giving information as to what that looks like, if you're, looking at that 2% interest rate, if you're this person listening, this is how it applies to you.
Yeah.
If you're this type of investor, this is how this will have an impact on you. But to make a blanket statement, and I feel like we're all responsible for people that listen to us and they look to us for guidance and for information, when we're misleading the people. That's I don't like that.
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. And I feel like I was guilty of that too. When we first get into real estate, there's no, other than the 75-hour course, which is absolutely useless in your career. Outside of that, once you go into the office, the broker's telling you sell, sell, sell.
Right.
And they teaching you neuro-linguistic programming on how to get people to want to buy or sell. And and that was the rat race that I was in. in the beginning, and
I was too.
and probably about 3 years ago was when I really pivoted because it started to hit home. Right, I sold a house to a close friend, and at the time, I was selling, so it was just like, oh, you want to buy? Yep, make it happen. A couple of years later, he got hit with his wife had a terminal illness, took on all these medical expenses, and when they got the house, it was like by the skin of their teeth to begin with. Now crisis hits,
Right.
and we can't afford it. And I
Right.
think that the bigger problem is, telling generational wealth is not everybody's dream. And I tell people all the time, like, my parents didn't leave me no property.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm 40. I'm not looking at them like I missed out on something. They
Right.
did me wrong. I figured it out on my own.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. But I feel like, probably this year, especially my team and I probably turned away more buyers than we took on. Because they were joking. They like, John, do you want us to buy a house? Because I'm sitting in the buyer's consultation like, listen, your lawn, you know how much your landscaping costs? I'm like, you in a 800 square foot home apartment right now. You're moving into a 3,200 square foot apartment. Do you know what that electricity and gas costs now? Like, because you only worried about the monthly payment.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, like, don't let it affect your lifestyle. If you and your family are used to taking 3-4 vacations a year while you live in a rental, and y'all used to going out 2-3 times a month for dinner, and y'all have those memories, you gonna give that up for a house?
Right.
Nah.
Right. Get a like I talk to my kids. My son, he's turning 18 in 2-3 weeks now.
Happy birthday,
Got
boy.
me feeling old,
Yeah.
but he'll be 18 in about a few weeks. And we had a conversation about real estate, and he said, well, Mom, how much do you make as a realtor? I was like, oh boy, here we go. And I told him, he was like, I want to make double that. I was like, okay, so what's your plan? And he told me what the plan was. And I said, so you don't want to be a realtor? He was like, I'll think about it, but I think I want to take this route. I said, all right, cool, I support it. I was like, are we still going to buy the condo for you? So that way, when you decide you're ready to move out, at least you have a condo. When you move from the condo, you can rent it out. He was like, it sounds like an idea, but I'm really not trying to be a landlord. Okay, understood. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push that on him. My son is going to be the kid. He wants to go to Japan, I already know he's going to be an individual that just travels the world. And he wants to make enough money so that he can do that.
You can be able to do that.
Right. And I know a lot of wealthy people that they're just buying real estate outside of their home.
Yeah.
The home that they live in, right? And it's now in the decision that was made for this one particular individual, and he knows who I'm talking to. He made the decision because of all the hype on social media. It's just like in his mind, he thought having the property that he's currently in, the property for his parents that he purchased, making sure his siblings are set, we're good. Because most likely the home that his parents are in, when they should, pass on, he's not keeping that.
Yeah.
He's not keeping that. That will be sold, and then they're going to figure out what to do with the monies. So purchasing a property, yes, real estate is probably the best vehicle to use if you want to be wealthy, right? And to have the money is to have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. So we're not going to act like money doesn't make us happy. And when I say money itself isn't what makes us happy, it's like a tool where we can open up doors
For sure.
to things that make us happy, right? I don't want us to put people in situations that they're uncomfortable in, or that, like you said, it's going to make them unhappy. Now your marriage is falling apart because of the stress that's on your family, the responsibilities of you taking on this mortgage, and now you're cutting back from the lifestyle you once had. The kids are not going to the after school program anymore. You have to cut out the swimming class and the karate class. No more. We're only doing one vacation instead of 3 this year, right? So, like you said, to your point, are you really willing to sacrifice the lifestyle? Can they handle that? Can they deal with that? Do you really need this big house? It's okay to be in the apartment if you're making investments elsewhere. And there is, extra money coming in, more income coming in. You don't have to just depend on your job. Absolutely. I support that. But At what cost?
Mm-hmm.
If it's just, taking out half your savings, okay, and it's not going to
Yeah.
hurt you, cool. But if it means that your whole family falls apart
Yeah.
because of it, because of the decision you made because of the influence of other people, and not because you really sat down with your family to figure out if this is the right decision for your family, yeah, I think it's foolish.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that a lot of the time the decision is also made based on other people.
That's
like,
it.
oh, I want this house because I'm gonna entertain and I'm like, yo, I'm telling you from experience.
Right. How many people they say, oh, this is where I can entertain. This kitchen is perfect for
I'm
entertaining.
like, they and the further north you go, they really not coming to your house.
Right.
But what? You making this decision based off of 2 or 3 events a year where your friends and family might come over and they might not. That's what we're doing for the sake of saying that we have this big house.
Well, even if, because I would be one, if I have it, I'll spend it because then I know I can entertain in my home and I don't have to rent out event spaces, whatever the case may be. If you're that person, you love to entertain, cool. That's going to be therapeutic for you and fulfilling to entertain people. Fine. If on paper, to the bank, you can afford, this home, but your lifestyle, and based on your lifestyle, you're making, this property, having this responsibility is going to take up about 2/3 of what it is you're making. It makes no sense. Or what it is you're taking home. It makes no sense to do it.
Not at all.
Because the bank is going to see, oh, it's only like 10% or a quarter of your income. Yeah, but they don't know you like to travel a lot. They don't know you like designer bags. They don't know you entertain for free.
Yeah.
you know? So you sit down and you create a budget, a plan. Like, have a plan. Don't just do it because you're led by someone that has 1 million followers and you just feel like, oh, they must know something. Not always.
Exactly. So we touching on the real estate side, more consumer heavy, but from the realtor perspective, right? I had this conversation with a realtor the other day. I went to the gas station by my house.
Okay.
And I see somebody moving real funny in the gas station, right? Like they covering their face. I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm like on alert, like, what's up with dude over there? And I know the dude at the gas station. So I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, I don't know. So then finally, like, dude turned around and I see him and I know him. And he's a realtor. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, why you moving like that? He's like, like, yo, listen, man, like, I didn't want you to see me like this. I'm like what? So he had on the Amazon vest. He had on the Amazon vest. He was delivering packages. And I didn't even know what he was talking about or what he meant by that. So I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, the market is crazy right now. It's hard. And, I had to get another job. He's like, but I don't want nobody out here see me out here like this. I said, my brother, me of all people? I'm the last person you got to worry about that.
Right.
I said, I also know you're a family man. So there's nothing to be shameful about
working.
What you got to do. I said, I would feel worse if I knew you were home doing nothing about it.
Right.
But you out here doing what you got to do for your family. And I feel like there's so much vanity in our industry. And there's there's a lack of vulnerability. And I feel like specifically with the realtors in the down markets where it's just like everybody just get low and they start. You don't see them out so much, but it's like, yo, why don't we come together and figure out what we're going to do in this market? What you doing that's working? You doing something, or let's figure something out as opposed to, trying to keep pretending that everything is all good.
So it depends on who you're talking to. If you ask me, Queen, what is it like being a realtor in today's market? It's amazing. Mm-hmm. Why is that? It's because many are fixed on the titles.
Yeah.
I'm a realtor, so why am I on a podcast right now? I'm a realtor, so why do I have a book and apparel? I'm a realtor, why am I hosting events and it's not buyer seminars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never been in that box. I think the ones that are in that box, they're like, wait, they say a realtor is supposed to be in a suit, show houses, host open houses, cold calls, write letters. I'm supposed to be a certain way. I should drive a certain car. I should smell like expensive perfume. Why am I wearing Bath and Body Works? This is not fun. Why do I only smell like Dove soap? You know? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Because I'm not in that matrix or whatever you want to call it. I'm not in that system. It doesn't affect me. So yes, maybe one year I did my highest number. My second year I did 24 deals, right? And I haven't done 24 alone, since. That's okay with me. Why? Because I've done so much more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I've done so much more. In 2021, because I was in a relationship of 12 years, fell apart. And it's in the book. I speak about someone that I was married to, and the relationship went bad. And I had to leave that relationship and build from there, like start over. And I was super fearful. No one knew I was in real estate. No one knew in 2021 for like 4 months. I was working at Verizon. I was working at Verizon for 4 months. It was remote. I was at home. And no, I didn't publicly say it, but I did it because I needed it.
Yeah.
And I would do it again.
100%.
I would do it again. You might find me pulling up if, Uber Eats. Here you go. Well, if I wasn't so afraid of people at night and having people in my car, I would do Uber too. But there's nothing. It's just a title. So you working at Amazon. Listen, to work at Amazon, I know a lot of people that work at Amazon and make more money than we do. Or they have benefits and we don't.
Yeah.
They know they're getting paid next week. We don't.
Yeah.
We're employed too, okay? Every time a deal closes, we're unemployed again.
Yep.
All right? We're out there trying to look for our next deal.
I tell people that all the time. They're like, what is real estate like? And I said, when you were unemployed and you were applying everywhere and every day you're clicking and filling out applications, it was like, I said, that's us every day.
We work, it's like a job agency.
That's us every day.
It's a job
we're looking
agency.
for a new job.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad you said that because I had steered away, especially over this last year. I had a lot of personal things going on, my family and all that. And people would see me posting stuff here and this and they're like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing a couple things. But I thought you sold real estate. Like, yeah, I sell real estate. And I do other things too. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I have my girlfriend, when you go to her social media account, she probably got like 6 posts. And each post is like each year of her birthday.
Yeah.
She don't push real estate on her page.
Yeah.
But she looks like she's killing it in the game.
Yeah.
There's one person, I don't even want to say his name, but we know who he is. He has billboards everywhere. Okay. When you go to his page, nothing real estate related. He just shows family. He sells lifestyle.
Yeah.
But we all know who he is.
Yeah.
His name alone, we know who he is.
Yeah.
But that Instagram, if you're using it as a tool to generate leads, then I would say, yo, what are you doing? Your business comes from Instagram. Instagram, it makes up 50% of the business that you do, right? That's your source of income. What are you doing? But if that's not your means of income, then why am I questioning it?
Yeah.
That's your business. That's none of mine. I think even us wearing, suits as realtors, there's a lot of realtors that I see that look sweaty and just a mess. But they own a lot of properties and a lot of people trust them because of what they know and who they know. So I don't, none of that, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, but that plays into the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
'Cause it was me, right? When I left healthcare and I started doing real estate, I had no idea. I said, oh, well, $1 million listing, that's what they do. So I start getting all these suits and honestly, if I did not wake up every morning and put on my suit, and I was bugging, like my pocket square had to match my tie, and I was that guy. My socks had to, like, all of it. And I was like, if I didn't put that on, I didn't feel adequate.
Well, if that's who you are, like for me, I came in with flats, threw my heels on. My heels is like, it's like my Dorothy shoes, Wizard of Oz shoes. It's like, I need my heels to feel magical.
Yeah.
That's me, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put on heels like, oh, this is probably what they want to see, but I really don't want to. No, if you're a jeans and a t-shirt kind of guy, and that works for you, you're gonna attract a lot of jeans and t-shirt type of people, right? Like, be who you are, and you're going to attract like-minded people. Now, if you're targeting a certain audience, so this is where it does get uncomfortable. If I want to do luxury, then I have to wear a suit every day.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just what. If you want to attract that type, you have to dress the way that they dress.
Yeah.
I saw something that was online where they said that's even the brands, they understand customer behavior. Mm-hmm. They understand the poor want to look rich. Mm-hmm. So when they design pieces that we could afford, those that they would consider poor, where we would spend our rent or mortgage money to purchase a bag, a designer bag, they know we want everyone to know it's a designer bag. So they make sure that the labels and the prints are all over it and it's loud. And then for those that have the money, they usually want to be low key with it.
Subtle.
So they make sure that it's just clean and maybe the imprint is inside the bag, the designer bag, and then that bag is like $12,000, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference. You have to know your customer. You have to know who you want to attract, understand their behavior. And if their behavior is a suit, they're going to look at you in a suit and just automatically equate that to success. And they say, hey, this person must be knowledgeable. Let me work with them. Then great. That's the type of audience. That's your avatar, because I like to create avatars. If this is what your avatar believes in, then you have to wear the suit. But if you're trying to attract a younger audience, and the younger audience likes a girl, if I still had my red hair, because I had red hair back in the day, if I had my red mohawk, and it's going to attract the people that I know that are spending money in Manhattan, because this is the style. They want a fashionista. They want somebody that's loud and vibrant and full of color, and wearing prints, because this is what speaks to them. Then I have to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Then that's when you become like, this is what branding is all about.
Yeah.
But don't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. Don't try to fit the formula. And you can be a realtor at night and work at Papa John's during the day.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with that.
100%. And you can also, you know what I mean? And I'm saying this to myself, like, because I had to learn it over the last 2 years. Like, there's some days I want to wear the suit. Some days I don't.
Right.
And I had to get comfortable with, if the day that I am not wearing the suit and I run into the suit client and we have a conversation and he doesn't want to work with me because of this, then he's not my guy.
Right.
And that's okay.
Or I would be like, hey, take that hat off. You fine.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, most of my outfits, my clothes, kids always say, Mom, let's go. Like, they had me buy jeans. We went to, where did we go? We went to Burlington Coat Factory. So not even nothing expensive. Mom, buy some jeans. You always got on some dress clothes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And even like my chill outfits, we'll go to my aunt's house and the fabric is like, the material is always, in between, where it's casual, but it's still somewhat a professional look. It's okay if that's who you are. Yes.
Yeah.
But if I switch it up, I'm not going to be inappropriate and wear sweatpants.
Yeah.
In a
no, of course.
Tank top, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Time and place for everything. But no, because you see me in denim in a sweatshirt, if I went to open the door, of a home and I'm not suited, but I got my heels on, I brought my magic with me.
Yeah, for sure.
It should be okay. I shouldn't feel like,
For sure.
I'm less than, I'm not doing my job. I'm not like the next man. It's be you. Be who you are. They'll appreciate that more.
You said something on I had saw on your Instagram where you had said, referring to lead generation.
Okay.
You had said, we don't have to cold call 1,000 people. We don't have to door knock. And you said something that was powerful. You said, my choice is to host events, because when I do, I got everybody in the room's attention. And I thought that was dope, because I didn't see it that way when I was at your event. I said, damn, Queen just put on a dope-ass event. But what I didn't think of is the ancillary part of it, that it's now like queen, 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 queen. And as much value and knowledge that was shared at the event, which it was a ton of value,
Right.
it was because of you. You're at the root of it. And I didn't think of it that way. So my question is, was that always the thought process going into real estate? And
No, so not going into real estate. It was when I started the buyer seminars, and I remember the very first one. I had a few other licensed professionals with me because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do a buyer seminar. This is before everyone started doing it.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to take full credit and say I'm the reason why everybody in 2021 was doing, you saw buyer seminars every week
Mm-hmm.
because I started doing it monthly. And what I did was, I don't want to speak on every topic.
Yeah.
So for every aspect of the business, I want to have everyone that's a part of the process to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And what we started doing in the beginning, or what I did alone rather, was hold the people that came in, the attendees. They were, I told them I'm your accountability partner. So I would talk to them each week, check in, how's everything going? Small talk, 5 minutes, nothing crazy. Leading up to when they actually got pre-approved and was ready to go. One of them we actually closed. But that was short-lived because I started doing bigger events. When I say bigger events, those events were like 12 to 15, 20 people. And now we're hosting events where there's like 150, 250, 300 people that are there. The idea didn't come until after holding people accountable and realizing people really just don't know the process.
Yeah.
People really just, they don't know what credit looks like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they look at it as a number, not understanding its power.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the simple things that I feel like I thought everyone knew,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't know it.
Yeah.
So I need a bigger room. I need a bigger space. And then understanding like, okay, these individuals, when I call, they pick up. When I email, they reply. The ones that I'm chasing, they don't know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So when they see my number on their screen, they probably be like, I don't know this number,
Yeah.
block.
Click.
But the ones that know me, they like, oh, Queen's calling. Hey, girl, how are you? I was
Yeah.
just thinking about you. So that's why I was like, you know what? I got to keep this going. Instead of calling and annoying people, because I feel like that's exactly what it is. I don't know you. Why you at my door?
Yeah.
Step. I was just using the bathroom. I had to jump out the shower to come get this door because I felt like it was somebody I might have known, or I thought it was a package, or I thought it was my delivery guy, and it's you. Now I'm annoyed. Now, you know, I don't want you on my doorstep. Right? I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want people to, again, attracting the right people. What I was saying earlier, as far as your attire, you want to attract the right people. I want the ones that want the information, the ones that need the answers, the ones that I've connected with previously, because there's a lot of regulars that attend the event. That's pretty much nurturing them. Those are the ones that I can call, they pick up and say, Queen, what do you need? Mm-hmm. And I say, hey, look, you in New York, if you got any clients, say less.
Yeah.
I'll send you the business. And then that's when my referrals, my referral partners increased.
Yeah.
So yes, to be in a room of 250 people, those that are hosting events, if you don't leverage that and you don't continuously provide value and don't make it about yourself, not once did you see me go up there and say, hey, everybody, make sure y'all buy my book. I got an album dropping out next week. Make sure. I wasn't doing any of that. I was like, look, I'm here for you. So if ever you need us, everyone that was on this panel, you reach out to me and I'll get the answer you need.
And I listen. A big part of why I wanted to talk to you here was not just to get your perspective on things, which I respect and admire, but also to give you your flowers and tell you, and I've told you this already, but I've been doing business now like 10 years. I've been to many events and I've hosted many events. Well, I've been a part of hosting many events. I don't host many on my own. And I know when I put my name on something, how I am about it. I'm very particular about things. I want things to have a certain look, certain quality, certain feel.
Right.
So when I go other places, that's how I'm grading people. I'm like, how's it,
right.
off of my standard.
Right.
And to say that I was blown away by your event is an understatement. I spent my 40th birthday there.
You did.
That was my 40th birthday.
Right.
And so many people hit me up and it was like, yo, what you doing for your birthday? Yo. I was like, yo, I'm going to this real estate. It was like, what? I said, there's people on this panel that I know in the industry that I've seen. I don't know them personally, but I've seen them. I know what they're doing. I want to meet them in person. I know somebody who's hosting it. I'm going there. And they was like, yo,
did you ever meet Welby?
I did.
You did? Great, because that's what I wanted.
Yeah, and you know, and I went to the event, and again, from the way the venue was set up, the vendors not being like in this place where you feel this pressure to buy something from them, that was huge. The way it was moderated, the time, everybody was on time, everything flowed well, the value. I mean, I was floored.
I appreciate it. I love the feedback.
And I really mean that. And it made me think, like, you know, that's thinking outside the box, but also coming from a place of contribution.
Right.
Where it's like, yes, I'm a businesswoman, and yes, this is advantageous for me, but don't get it twisted. This is a lot of work. There's a lot of shit behind the scenes to make this happen.
Right.
But you over-delivered, and I thought that was huge. So I say that to say this. I saw the lineup of people that you had, and I was like, well, goddamn. I said, Queen know everybody that's on my list of people that I want to get to know, or that I want to meet, or that I want to have a conversation with.
Right.
And when I spoke to you, I was like, well, how? And you was like, well, I seen him at this place, and I went up and said hello, and talk to me about the networking, because I tuned in to one of your networking seminars that you had hosted.
Okay.
Talk to me about your networking skills.
Okay, so it's not even that hard. It's even networking and negotiations go hand in hand. And it's going to be very hard to articulate, but I'm going to do my best at explaining. I meet you, and we have conversations, and you can tell me, this is what, you know, my situation is, this is what I have going on, whatever. As you're talking, like I said, my brain is like a computer, because all I do is deal with systems. So as you're talking, I'm thinking about all the people that are in my network that could support what you're doing, whether it's collaboration, whether even if they can't offer you anything, they're like your peer, they're your equal, and you might even be impressed that I know another you. So now if you're big-headed and you're like, oh, I'm big stuff, like Queen ain't never meet nothing like, that gets shut down because you realize like, oh, Queen already have another me, right? So now you just want to be a part of this network, this team, because you just met someone that's just like you. You love the energy. Y'all connect well. It's just like, yo, I got to be around y'all. When the next time y'all linking up, right? But this is somebody, like, you didn't get that energy from me. You got it from another you.
Yeah.
Right? So if I can't find something to give you, if I can't say something in that moment to make you feel like, wow, tell me more, right? It's like, okay, the next time I see him, I'm going to make sure so-and-so's with me. They're going to connect. They're going to hit it off. And then boom, now he's my friend. Yeah. Right? So networking isn't, like I said earlier, it's not just about meeting people, because sometimes you can go in a room and there's 50 people in a room and you feel like you got to meet every person in that room and exchange business cards with every person in that room. No.
It's not speed dating.
No, it's not. And most networking events, honestly, there's people there, certain events. There's people that are there that they're new and they're just like, I need a deal. I don't have anything going. I need. So it's a bunch of people that are in the room like, I need. But nobody's really sitting back like, I have something. And I'm here because I need a realtor. And I know a realtor is going to make this happen for me. So that's why I'm here. Like, do you have a purpose?
Yeah.
Are you there with a purpose? So I attend certain events where there are no realtors in the room. It's a bunch of doctors. And I came because my doctor friend invited me, because I told my doctor friend I need this opportunity. Don't just tell someone that I'm a realtor and ask them if they're interested in purchasing a home and use me. No. The next event, make sure I'm there.
Yeah.
And when we go there, I want you to tell everybody I'm the realtor that purchased that, to help you purchase the home. Nice. And then we make the connection. So also, It's not always about meeting people. Sometimes you need a buffer. You need like somebody to come in, or a hype man, somebody to come in and make the introduction. Yeah. So that way, it's better to have someone else talk about who you are and how great you are than, if, you know, for me to do it myself. Because it's like, I don't want to hear it. But if my friend tells you, who's also a friend of yours, then it gets your attention. So everybody on that lineup, most of the people that you see on stage, I don't know them. Okay? I don't know them at all. It's all a little person. Yeah. And then at some point, when we meet at the event and then we connect at the event, now the middle person is removed and it's a direct access, right? So the idea is never, and then also, I don't try to step out the network to find someone too far out to come on. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I got this person, and this person rub elbows with this person. Okay. So the next event, I'm going after this person. I'm going to tell this person, hey, I had your boy on my show, on my event, at my event last year. You definitely should pull up. So it's constantly going to the next, after the next, after the next. I'm not trying to go too far out because it's going to take me longer to build the stage or the platform that way. Yeah. Right? But again, it goes back to even real estate. You do the same thing. If I wanted to do luxury, I'm not going to go direct. I mean, it's some people, they'll probably get the opportunity, go direct to that $2.5 million listing to try to snatch it up off the hands of somebody else that is well known in the industry to be a luxury agent. What I would do is I would work backwards. Who's hanging out with the luxury agents? Yeah. Who's hanging out with the people that sell luxury properties, right? Let me be friends with them. Introduce me to your people.
Or like I tell realtors all the time, go where those people go.
Go where they go, right?
Like, you know that they go to, like, where I'm at in Westchester, you know, there's a few high-end gyms, you know, like you got your Lifetime, like high up there, but then there's like a few like country clubs. Yeah. Like, that's an investment for your business. Get yourself a country club
the cigar
membership.
Lounges, that is private, membership only.
And don't go in there pitching yourself. Just be around those folks. Yep. Because being around there is going to make them feel like, oh, you be where I'm at? Okay. So,
and they always ask, there's certain questions they always ask. So what do you do for a living? What you got going on? My pitch is ready. Yeah. I'm a mother of 3, you know, I have a book. But I don't make it all hype. I'm like, you know, I'll do this, I'll do that and the other. But you know what? I help people, you know, make money. Oh, how you do that? How you help people make money? Well, I got a lot of investors. You know, they look to me, you know, to provide opportunities for them. Oh, what opportunities? You know, we do real estate, you know, real estate. Now they're like, well, who are you? What are you, like a wholesaler? Yeah. Now it's like, now they're really intrigued. Yeah. Oh, I do real estate. You know, I'm a real estate professional. Okay, cool. Yeah. How long you been in business? So now you're super interested in me because of how I'm laying it out to you. I'm not just saying, oh, I'm a realtor. Yeah. Okay, that's boring. Very. But if I say, yeah, you know, I help people get the best, you know, top dollar for their properties, and you know, I help people find their homes, you know, whatever. And you start breaking it down, you dress it up pretty. You know, people are they'll find you more interesting and want to know more about you. But I agree. Also, the setting. If we're at Applebee's, they'll brush it off. But we're at a country club, and there's only 4 people that can get into the space that we're in. You know, it's hard to get in because membership is probably $10,000 a year. You know, for you to make that investment, you must be big time. Yeah. But not everybody can afford the $10,000 a year. So again, it goes back to who do you know that can get you in? Get you in there. Look, first year, like there's a guy that's in my network. He has access to a club, Lamont Lounge. Okay. And if you look it up, it's membership only. But you can come in with someone that's a member. That's my guy. I've been invited to that place often. And to take a picture and post it online, you got your friends and your DMs like, oh, I've been in that spot before for someone's birthday. I was told you can't get access. You got access? I'll leave it on red. Let you figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let you figure it out. You don't need to know.
Exactly. So as I like to do my research on people. I like to scroll through their stuff and pick up little things. So I saw you had put up a post that said, this chapter of my life is called I Have Nothing Left to Prove. Embracing inner freedom and self-validation. And that was September of 2023.
That was just me being...
Tell me about this chapter, because we still in that chapter. It was
Still in that chapter.
2023, or has that chapter passed? We started a new year.
No, I think that day is when I transformed. It was a reality. It was just like, wait, hold on. Because after every event, I'm on to the next. So I never really have a time to really reflect for too long. I only get a brief moment to reflect, refocus, and then get back into whatever it is that I was doing. Right? So I'm already on the next Q4 mastermind. That's already planned and mapped out. We had a little brief conversation coming in. So I can't even really let what happened sink in, because now I'm on to something else. I'm excited about something else. The idea was, I've only been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
And to constantly hear people say, wow, I thought you've been in the game for at least 10 years, the stuff that you've been doing. Yeah. And you don't know none of these people, how you get connected with them. I'm like, it's simple. Guys, y'all networking, it's simple.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Just walk in a room. Yeah. That's it. Or just when they say call the DJ, if you want to win this ticket, I'm not calling the DJ for that free ticket. I'm calling the DJ and I say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, happy birthday. Oh, I don't know who this person is, but they just called and wished me happy birthday. How they know it's my birthday? I looked them up on Facebook.
Yeah.
That was free.
Yeah.
Do your research on people.
Yeah.
Right? So it was just the confidence in knowing, like, Queen, you have everything you need. And everything that you've been using, you didn't have to pay for. You didn't have to pay for it. It's your voice. Your voice is your power. You're not afraid to ask. You're not afraid to approach people and say, hey, I have this going on. Do you mind helping? Yeah. And this is how you can assist. And in turn, this is what I could do for you. Yeah. I'm not afraid to do that because I've lost everything. When I left that relationship, I lost everything. To put somebody in a position where they have nothing else to lose, I'm going after everything. Wow, what's the worst that's going to happen? I don't have anything left. I don't have anything else to lose.
It's so crazy you say that, right? Because I'm in that season right now, right? 2020, 2021, maybe even like 2019, like 3-year stretch, my best time of my life in business. The best. I had made the most money I had ever made. Everything was great. Credit great. Everything. All the bullshit, right? And I've talked about this publicly 1,000 times, but IRS comes knocking. Matter of fact, they kicked down the fucking door. It wasn't a knock. And to say I lost everything is an understatement.
What year was this?
Well, this came around in the end of 2022.
Okay.
After I'm on this rise, everything is great. My team, I think that year we did like 67 million, something like that. Everything was incredible. Here they come for some shit I did in my past with my taxes. Then now you're making all this money. They want even more money. Oh, now we're gonna audit you, so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, levied my accounts.
No.
Levied all my accounts.
Just stop there. Dang.
Levied my accounts, levied my assets.
What?
Yeah. I go to the bank. I go to the gas station. Again, every day I'm waking up on this high. It's the best time of my life.
Right.
Everything is going amazing. I go to the gas station. I'm going to pump some gas, like, see cashier. I'm like, nah, ain't no way. Got another card. See cashier. I'm like,
what?
I go inside. I'm like, yo, something wrong with your pump. He like, oh, yeah, what you need?
So that's how you learn.
Yeah. So I paid for the gas that day. I'll never forget this day. It's like the clearest day of my life. I paid cash for the gas. And
good thing you had that on.
Yeah. And then like 3-4 hours later, my broker calls. He's like, yo, John, come to the office. We got to talk to you about something. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I got to go to my bank, find out what's going on. He's like, oh, we know what's going on.
What?
I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, they came and served us a letter and a subpoena and everything, and they levied your business. They levied your accounts. So all of you realtors that think it's a game, like, that they can do that, and they will. So every commission check that came in, and I'm not talking about a portion or a percentage. I'm talking about every single check straight to them.
Dang.
You have whatever you got in your account, that's theirs to settle this. You know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, going back and forth to court, months. I'm in this place of like devastation. Right? The fuck am I gonna do? And you know, the image. I'm John. I did this and all that bullshit. I ain't got nothing. You know, embarrassed to tell people you ain't got nothing. Embarrassed to talk to your so-called successful friends and tell them you ain't got shit and what you're dealing with and whatever. But like you said a minute ago, once you get past that grief, then there's this power that's like, if this is it, like if this is rock bottom, oh, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
And that was like what the last like 12 months has been for me.
And then knowing that I got out of it.
100%.
It was just like, oh, because that's also the fear. If you've never hit rock bottom before and you see what rock bottom looks like on others, you don't want to be others. I want to remain queen. I want to remain John.
Yeah.
For as long as possible, because this feels good, it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good. But then to be the others, and it's like, wait, hold on, I kind of make broke look good though. I'm figuring things out. But I got up off the ground quick, figured it out.
But that's perspective, and I tell people that all the time, right? Because when your perspective is different, rock bottom looks different.
Of course.
So what rock bottom was to me 10 years ago to what rock bottom was to me this year, I'm like, I'm dead broke in a penthouse apartment.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So when you lose it all, now it's not so much of, you know, oh, y'all going away? Oh, I'm riding with y'all. No, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let me check my finances. Nah, not this one. I have to skip this one. Yeah, that's what it has to be now. No, I'm not going to meet up with 20 people and take the bill. Nah, it's on me. No. Could we split the...
Yeah. I'm going to Venmo you. I'm going to Zelle you. Like, you know, like...
I'll pay you. I'll send you my half, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's the lifestyle change.
100%.
That is it.
100%.
And that's why for me, that's why I said it's like, no, I have to pivot. Okay, so now this is my lifestyle. My lifestyle before, at home mom, didn't have a bill in my name, freedom to go wherever, do whatever, spend how much ever I wanted to spend. Now it's like, okay, queen, now you have to balance the books. Now you have to make sure that you manage your money, you manage your finances, you make the right decisions, make a few investments to support yourself, because now you don't have that support system any longer. You know, it does not, some people, they lose their lifestyle and then they lose themselves. I didn't lose myself. I lost the lifestyle, but I didn't lose myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because things were taken away from me, or I've abandoned that position, and as a result of removing myself from that position, I no longer have those benefits. You can now create your own, you know? And it may be painful because it's like, dog, any other time I could have steak every night, steak and lobster.
Yeah.
All right, now steak and lobster is only on Saturdays.
It's cool. Yeah.
And that's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay.
That was what I had to tell myself.
Right.
I was like, oh, you don't remember what tuna fish tastes like? Oh,
a bowl of cereal tastes like.
We're going to remind you. We're going to take you back to your childhood. And you're going to live like this for a minute. But you had the taste of lobster. You had the taste of caviar.
Right.
So you know what that is. And you're going to get it back.
Right.
And that's the thing. So is that where your book came from?
That... So, well, no. What's his name? Twitch committed suicide. He was the DJ on the Ellen show. And it was fourth quarter. Everything that I do happens fourth quarter. Everything.
I see that.
Everything. So fourth quarter, it was right after we did the Q4 Mastermind with MG, the mortgage guy, well being the credit dude. It was November, the next month, and I was thinking about it was so depressing online, social media. Everyone was sad and just, you could just feel the energy, right? And I felt that people looked to me as if I had it all figured out and everything was perfect and I wasn't tainted and I didn't have a past, you know, and I was like, you know what? This guy just committed suicide. When you go to his page, everything, he seemed like he had it all. His wife would They would do dance videos together, TikTok videos, and she was pregnant at the time. And to my understanding, he went to a hotel room and then, took care of business. He ended himself, He was in tears on the Ellen show during the interview, saying how, much he would miss her. And this was like his escape, So I was like, you know what? Look, I've been there too. I once attempted suicide. This tattoo on my wrist came from that traumatic experience I had in 2020. I cut my hair because of it. I couldn't even look in the mirror and look at myself because the person that I saw in the mirror, she was a wife, she was a mother of 3, and that was it.
Yeah.
And now that, the relationship had ended, I didn't know who I was. Like my title was
a wife, mother, 3. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now I'm just a single mother of 3 kids, single mother, not me. Yeah. I'm supposed to be married till death do us part. That's supposed to be my story. And then also it was like, when someone changes their image, when their image changes in your head, it's kind of like I was mourning the death of an individual that I believed was true, right? And he was going to be this individual for the rest of my life, but he wasn't that person. And I had a hard time processing that. So I became suicidal because I started to think maybe it was me. Maybe I went wrong. There's somewhere where I went wrong. And he gave me reassurance that it wasn't me. But then it was just like, well, then if it wasn't me, why did this happen? And he was like, oh, you were too good to be true. And it was just like, that's it. That's all I got. So it just drove me crazy because my heart was still there. But my mind was like, girl, no. Yeah. Because to stay there, you'll be a prisoner. Because every time this man walks out your room and he goes about his business to work or whatever, you're going to assume he's with another woman. Yeah. Right. So it was very, very difficult. And I left and I wasn't sure if I made the right decision. And this would be the first time that I'm saying this publicly. But my first year, I had my children. My second year, I did not. My second year, I did not. My second year, I made a decision to just run, because I could not escape whatever this new reality was. I tried to adjust. I tried to cope with it. I tried to just deal with the changes, but I saw how it was affecting my children. And I sat down with my children. I said, do you guys want to leave with me or you want to stay? And they wanted to stay because they couldn't process it either. Like, what is happening? Yeah. Right? So to make that decision to go and to get me together, to then bring my kids back, that 1 year was bad. Yeah. It was horrible. I stayed close to them, as far as location in the same city. But it was very, 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 very hard because I knew my family was back at this home we've built together. It's just I didn't find peace there. Yeah. I didn't find peace there, and I was losing myself. I was skinny, like my everything's sinking in. Yeah, like it was just, I looked disgusting. It was bad. And all of this was 2021, and no one knew. So I said, you know what? I've overcame something, and I dealt with my demons quietly, like secretly. And I did that in private because what I also believe is when you're going through something, when you're going through it until you get out of it, you should not speak on it. Like, don't tell people you don't trust or don't know well to give you the right advice because you may find yourself digging yourself in a deeper hole, right? So I kept this to myself. I only confided in one individual. But once I figured out an escape, and then when Twitch committed suicide, and I connected to everything because it was like, you know what? Online, he looked perfect. He was happy. He was dancing. He kept everybody smiling, full of energy, very vibrant and colorful. I'm the same person. But little do people know, I was hosting these lives. I was doing these buyer seminars. I was closing these deals and standing next to my clients, showing homes. I was showing homes moments, Ellen, wearing shades. Like my eyes are red, puffy, and everything. I was just crying in the car. Yeah. I cried all day long, nonstop. Super depressed. Yeah. Cried so much I couldn't eat. Didn't need food. Yeah. No appetite. So I put it in a book. I was like, listen, if you're in a dark place, I had someone. Not everyone has someone that they can speak to. Right? Or they're trying to keep that image as everything is together. I'm perfect. I'm good. I'll figure this out, especially men. Yeah. I'll figure it out.
100%.
I'll figure it out. I don't want her to know. And it's like, because I told my mother, I said I was a man for like a year. Because she called me, was like, you worry me because I don't hear from you anymore. I didn't want to tell my mom what I was dealing with because I know what I was dealing with, she couldn't fix. Mm-hmm. So why would I worry her? I kept it to myself. And when she get on the phone, I would laugh, but my laugh was different. Mm-hmm. You know, when I would call to check in on her, it was brief. Everything was just different. So she knew her child, right? And I said, I felt like a man. So now I understand what men go through when you lose your job or when something changes on the job and you're trying to figure out, how do I balance the bills and how do I care for my family? You don't want to tell the family because you don't want us to worry. Yeah. And that's what I went through. So I put it all in a book. Just to say, like, if you're a man or you're a woman, whatever it may be, like, I went through it. You think the front cover is beautiful picture, right? Mm-hmm. This woman looks like she's at peace. No, when you go in there, you're going to see all my scars. Mm. And I had to remind myself every day, this is just for now. You can't be like this forever. You can't be like this forever. And then as time went on, that's where I told you I had to run, because you think pain is only going to last maybe a couple of weeks, a month, 2, or whatever. That thing went on for years. Mm. For years. And to this day, I have triggers.
Of course.
You know, but you have to know how to manage it all, how to deal with it, and know who's your tribe. Who do you go to, or who's going to look for you when you go missing? Yeah. Who's gonna? You need people to be responsible. Yeah, somebody gotta be like, "Hey, I ain't see you in a while, John. Everything okay?" Yeah. If you don't have any of those, you in trouble.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You in trouble.
That's a fact. So, upcoming year, we're here, 2024. What do we got on the calendar? What do we got?
A lot. A lot.
If we could summarize what 2024 is looking like for Queen, and what,
all right. So when is this going to drop? Then I know what I can say.
Probably next month.
Oh, next month. So then I can say a lot. So listen, we got a lot coming. We have the I Belong Here nonprofit organization is launching. We're launching. If this is a month from now, mm-hmm. So that we're talking January 15th. You know, this is a nonprofit dedicated to women or anyone that would identify as a woman, I would say. But, you know, we're not turning away men, because we need the support for men as well. But the idea is to address social issues that we face as women. Mm-hmm. One being the home ownership that I spoke of earlier, okay. You know. A lot of women, because I went through it, a lot of women that want to start over and they want to purchase their own home aside from the marital home. They want to have their own property, because the marital home, either you're getting bought out or it's, you know, you're selling it, right? You want to be able to start a new life, and maybe you can get that lifestyle back and maintain it. It's just getting your foot in the door. Like, you know how people say, all I need is that opportunity. Yeah. Just give me the opportunity and I'm going to show you I could do it, right? I feel like that's what some women need, and I don't want them to even have a barrier, and that barrier being closing costs and down payment assistance. And yes, we do have a lot of homeowner assistance programs, but they're limited, right? It's restricted to certain areas. It's restricted to, you know, whatever the regulations are for that type of financing. So we just wanted to be able to gift women within our community, assisting them with the closing costs, home buyer assistance, down payment, or if neither of the two are needed, when you move into your home, you may need furniture. You know, we want to assist with that. Okay. We want to bless as many women as we can. Dope. Also providing personal and professional development. So we have a lot of classes that focus on professional development, CRM training. We have PNC Bank coming in to teach us more about financial literacy, and what the guy that's actually coming, he's a financial advisor, CPA. So he's going to teach us how to balance our books and how to prepare for our taxes. Yeah. You might want to front row seat, right? We also have a women's retreat scheduled at Crystal Springs Resort. So we're going to be there for a weekend. Dope. It's just a lot going on. Then Q4 Mastermind. Listen. I'm not even going to drop one announcement. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for that big dog.
Listen.
We're going to wait for that big dog.
Listen, I'm telling y'all this. I'm looking in the camera to tell y'all this. I was at her last Q4 mastermind. I saw the lineup for the one prior to that. The one that I was at was insane. It was dope event, great speakers, so much knowledge. So please tap in with Queenella's Q4 mastermind. Queen, I appreciate you so much for being here, giving me your time, coming all the way from so far out to sit here with me and dealing with the traffic and the nonsense. Shout out to our sponsor, Uber. Thank you so much for providing our transportation today. Shout out to our sponsor, Uber. Shout out to our network, this group, this space. And Queen, tell the people where they could find you, where you're, give them everything. Where your music at, where your book at, where your events at. Talk to them.
So no music. Those days are over. But you can still find me on SoundCloud. You got some records up there, some tracks up there. But if you visit www.Queenella Gibson, Queen as it's written in a dictionary, and then Ella with 2 L's, ELLA, Gibson.com. You'll find everything there.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram at Queenella_Gibson. And if you're interested in a nonprofit organization, it's I-belonghere.com. And Q4 Mastermind.
There we go.
Saturday, October 5th, coming to a location near you. We're going to be at the Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey, October 5th, starting at 11 a.m., and we will end at 3 p.m. So we do have a flash sale. The flash sale for 2 days, we're going to sell the tickets at $150, and then it's going to be early bird tickets at $200, but the original price is $250, and it's because we got a big sale coming through.
I love it. Well, you know that I will be there.
Absolutely. We need you to cover it all. We need media coverage, you know?
We will be there. We will definitely be there. But Queen, thank you again so much for your time.
Thank you.
Please go follow my girl. Show her some love. Yes. Go to her events. Get her book. Get her everything. You know I only bring certified people up here, so please go follow Queen. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See you. Peace.